Okay, you guys, let's talk about dark triad. All right, let's talk about some psychology here. Dark triad is a triangle of three traits: Machiavellism, narcissism, and psychopathy. The thing is, the only zodiac sign that has a huge affinity with dark triad is Scorpio when they are neurotic, and secondly is Cancer when they're neurotic, and the third one I will choose either an Aries or a Capricorn, but I might go with an Aries. The reason why these are the top three, and I'm excluding right now the Capricorn, but they're also part of this. They are somehow in a tie with Aries because they're, how can I say, the triangle, they're kind of, more into that than this. Anyways, so let's talk about Scorpio and Cancer and why they are the top two zodiac signs that have a possibility of having dark triad in their personality. And why, when they say if a Scorpio is mad at you, God damn it, run for the hills. Or if Cancer is mad at you, there's a high chance of homicide, genocide, and whatnot, right? And that is what the psychologists are talking about, dark traits of these three traits. So first, let me describe what are these three traits for you, and then you think about it, like how are they connected to zodiac signs, especially the Scorpio's dark side, right? And you can watch my video about the dark side of Scorpio somewhere in the playlist, and you'll understand what I'm trying to convey here. So Machiavellism is based on a philosopher, writer named Niccolo Machiavelli, and he wrote a book called The Prince, and that was supposed to be a manual for upcoming prince and kings to actually, know how to run their kingdoms and know how to manage it and know how to keep control and rule, basically. So it was, they kind of dubbed it as a very evil book because it teaches you techniques on how to rule people, how to maneuver, and how to deceive people, and how to actually instill fear and codependency on a huge populace, and at the same time be able to maintain your rule and maintain your dynasty, basically. So that is what he's teaching, and you can read about it. It's called The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. And then the other one is psychopathy. So psychopathy is the lack of empathy, and that's very funny because Scorpios are very empathic people, but when they're neurotic, they are very apathetic people, and that is borderline psychopathy. So when we talk about psychopathy, is that when the person does not truly feel anything, they're very, very numb, and they're seemingly frozen, like their reaction to human connection, humanity is actually frozen to the point that it's like, they could be good surgeons, right? They can be good surgeons because they have no connection, no human connection to the human being that they're being dissecting and all that stuff. And that is a lot of Scorpios are known for that cold, stone cold, kind of heartless demeanor, especially if they're neurotic. And that is one of the dark side of Scorpios, that there's a high chance of psychopathy because the empathy starts to go, it polarizes into the exact opposite with the same intensity, which is basically indifference and apathy. So that is psychopathy in a very elemental level. If you want to read about it or watch other videos about psychopathy, there's a wealth of plethora of knowledge out there. But for me, I just want to put a point across, right? Since this is two worlds, the psychology and, the astrology and all that stuff, right? So the other one is narcissism. So narcissism is basically like this. I have no problem. It's everybody's problem. Like, it's their problem. It's not my problem. If they're miserable, they're miserable. I don't care. Because I'm the best and I have to be always the best. There's no way so anybody can be better than me. And if they have a problem, they just leave. Because for me, I am doing my goal and I will use everybody, exploit anything, everyone to reach my goal. And that is actually in the language of astrology. That's also Scorpionic energy, where you start stinging people if they're not, working in your favor. And they usually, they don't see a problem. Like, they don't ask for help, they don't ask for treatment because there's no problem. What the hell? I'm ambitious. I have dreams and I have goals to reach. So I'm ambitious. So why do I need to look for treatment? It doesn't make sense. They're very healthy. They're the best. They're the most beautiful. They have high vanity. They're always young. They must be rich. They must be powerful. They must have all the control, and they must be dominant, you know? And sometimes a lot of Scorpio men especially portray such narcissistic behavior, and that becomes how can I say? So a lot of women get attracted to that, like, oh my God, something about him is so cool, he's so confident. No, it could be borderline narcissism. He really sees himself better than you. And that is another story. If you think he's better than you, that better than everybody else, is being an elitist, then you are, you know, dealing with a narcissist. So the dark triad is one of the most difficult personality disorder or psychotic disorder, neurotic disorder, you know, name it, you guys. I'm not a psychology major, so it's a huge mental disorder by which it's so hard to get it out of the person because it's part of their personality per se. So if you really got it out, you might end up with someone with no identity, and that is equally dangerous, right? And then, for example, when you look at water, the two water signs, because Pisces are really nice, they're really nice, but you got Scorpio and Cancer, and these two, they are prone to become like this, especially the Scorpios. They're prone to become dark triad, especially if they had trauma when they're young, if they got hurt. So when a child who is a water sign, especially Cancer and Scorpio, got hurt badly, their heart was broken at an early age. And when I say broken, does not necessarily mean a romantic relationship, but it could be a family dysfunction or an environmental dysfunction and societal dysfunction. Anyways, there's a dysfunction. These kids who have high Scorpio in their birth chart, they have high Cancer in their birth chart, will tend to go and, you know, tend to foster this defense mechanism, which is the dark triad. And they will use it really well because, you know, that empathy, that was the thing that actually make you understand other people. They use it against people. You see what I mean? They start using that empathy and then immediately become apathetic. So they will connect to you, read you, understand you, dissect your psyche, understand your weaknesses and desires, and they will immediately cut the cord before you actually reciprocate and before they actually even feel something. And once that is taken, this is one of their techniques, especially the guys. If you're dealing with a guy with a Scorpio, but you feel a little bit neurotic, okay? Not everybody is nice, not everybody is healthy, you guys. So if you feel like he's dissecting you like a freaking case, like a frog, in a biology class, if you feel like you're being dissected in a very objective, very cold manner, then you are dealing with a neurotic Scorpio. And listen to this video once more, what I've tried to tell you, and look for what I pointed out about a dark triad, okay? That brings out sexiness and sensuality. So you might be attracted to that. You might be, you know, you might end up with him. You might be feeling like you're on the top of the world, but you're actually just an object of being sucked out of life, basically. And what I mean by sucked out of life, because he or she has to find a way on how they're going to exploit you one way or another. You have to be useful for a dark triad. You see what I mean? And if you don't like that type of situation where you feel you're being manipulated subtly in front of your face, different types, okay? You can be manipulated by innocence, by the way, by gullibility. You could be manipulated in multiple ways, but you have to know yourself, okay? I will have to say this once again. You really need to know thyself. Know what are your weaknesses and strengths, because if you don't know what are your weaknesses and strengths, somebody's going to use it against you. And this is something that a lot of women experience, and they go like, Scorpio people are horrible. No, it's not about that. It's the fact that with great knowledge comes power or responsibility. No, knowledge is power, and with knowledge and with power there's responsibility. I just, sorry, ABC, I went AC. That's funny. Yeah, it happens. So with great knowledge comes I forgot already. All right, comes power, and with power there is responsibility, right? that's the thing with Scorpio people and Cancer people, especially this year, and in Aries, in another type. And I'm gonna make a video specifically for Aries and how they actually have the dark triad, which may not look like how the Scorpio people and the Cancer people behave. Okay, it's a little bit different because they're fire sign. They have a different way, different demeanor. So if you feel like you're being if you're dating somebody, a woman or a man, who dissect you like an object, okay, then you are dealing with somebody who might have a dark triad. So keep away, all right? If you feel that the empathy is closed, it's so frozen, and knowing that if there's Scorpio, really there's Scorpio in the birth chart, you feel it, you can sense it, that there's Scorpio, then, and if you feel that they're apathetic, indifferent, well, you know that they have great possibility and potential of empathy, then again, red flag, all right? If you say that there is a high high sexuality rather than sensuality at the beginning of your dating life with this person, then again, red flag. Because Scorpios especially, let alone Cancer very family oriented, so they might be more traditional than a Scorpio, but Scorpio especially are more sensual than sexual in a normal cycle. But if they're neurotic, they will rather be on the opposite, so will be more sexual than sensual. You see what the difference? If you don't know the difference, Google it, dude. You gotta learn. I suggest you read The Art of Lovemaking, at least to understand what's going on. The Art of Love, Kama Sutra. Yeah, a lot of people sexualize it so much. No, it's a book of understanding marriage, relationships, love, and other aspects of it. So if you don't know the difference between sensuality and sexuality, then you are having a problem. You gotta fix your knowledge here, okay? So if you feel the person is more sexual than sensual in the early beginnings of things, especially men, because men usually get promiscuous when they are neurotic, then remember it's a red flag. So you might be just a passing, passing object of desire. Not really desire, just passing object, basically, just to, just to feel alive for a while. And yeah, this is what I think is my message right now. I would like to give you guys more tips and dark secrets, to unveil some dark secrets from different aspects. And I would like you guys to go ahead, like if you're a devoted follower to this YouTube channel, go ahead and read more. I would like you guys to start reading, because reading is your portal to knowledge and a portal to wisdom. And if you have knowledge, then you're gonna, create a web of wisdom when you start understanding it, exercising, observing it, okay? I want you guys to start reading. Start to read things, for example, Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud. I will put some, some books later on. And even Robert Greene. Check Robert Greene, check Niccolo Machiavelli. That guy, you guys have to read that book so that you understand the typical Scorpio man when he's a king, okay? If you want to know how he's gonna be. Yeah, and if you guys like this type of analysis, let me know so I can, and give me questions, pass me questions, email me questions, so that I can, figure out what is your biggest concern. Because for me, I enjoy psychology and I also enjoy astrology. So I like to think from multiple dimensions in this situation. So please go ahead and pick my brain. All right, adios amigos.